John Kramer lectured in psychology at Queen's University Belfast for over 30 years and has played an active role in applied sport and exercise psychology throughout that time. John has worked with national and international teams and athletes from over 50 sports and continues to publish widely, including his most recent best-selling book, Pure Sport.
By now we're starting to put together the mental equipment or armoury that you'll need not only to realise your marathon goals, but hopefully enjoy yourself along the way. But let's not be naive here. There will be times when it will be tough, when it will hurt, but if you can counterbalance those occasions by the times when you feel good, when it feels right, then the road to the finish line will be that much less rocky. One obstacle that we need to clear from your path is attached to a word that's probably one of the most overused in sport: focus. How often do you hear a coach or athlete use this word, often at times of high stress? And it brings to mind a singular view of what it takes mentally to succeed in sport. No one would ever deny that there are times when tunnel vision may help to block out distractions and allow you to focus on the task at hand. But if you try focusing for hours at a time, you'll soon discover that we simply aren't hardwired neurologically to keep that mental state for very long. We become tired, mentally fatigued, and the consequences can be catastrophic. The reality is that the word focus in sport is most strongly associated with intense concentration in those sports or activities which require the performance of a skill over a very short period of time. There are lots of other sports where that level of concentration can often do more harm than good. Instead, why not take the advice of one of the greatest cricketers of all time, Sir Gary Sobers? He described concentration in quite a different way. During his long innings, which may have taken 6-7 hours over 1 or 2 days, he learned something else about concentration or attention. It isn't there permanently. You turn it on, you turn it off. Running a marathon has many similarities to building a cricket innings. There'll be times when you want to concentrate, but there'll be other occasions where you will need mental timeouts in order to stay fresh and alert. To help you maintain the right mental state, it's important that rather than treating focus as the unitary concept, think of it instead as only one of several attentional styles that you may choose to employ during training or the race itself. For example, learning when to look inwards, that is, monitoring how you are feeling or assessing your race strategy, or when to look outwards, maybe at a particular target, or assessing conditions generally. And the trick is learning how to switch between these styles easily to keep the race fresh and alive at all times. The last session asked you to consider when to use imagery in a positive way. That's just one example of when you turn your attention inwards, maybe bringing a particular image to mind. On another occasion, you may want to ask yourself, how do I feel? This could be part of a broad internal attentional style, where you're generally assessing how your body feels, or you may choose to focus on one aspect of your body or one part of your body. Research consistently shows that experienced distant runners are very good at knowing when to turn the spotlight inwards on themselves, or parts of themselves, or outwards on what's going on around them, so they don't become preoccupied with how they're feeling for long periods of time. Those with less experience will be inclined to keep asking themselves, how am I? And if the answer isn't good, you can find yourself running into a cul-de-sac, and the heavy legs start to feel even heavier. At the very early stages of a run, there's often a temptation to keep asking yourself, how do you feel? And especially maybe when your confidence isn't high that you're fully prepared. That may well be a time to deliberately switch from an internal to an external focus, deliberately looking outwards, either generally taking everything that's going on around you, or more specifically, homing in on one external source, maybe the number on the back of the runner in front of you, thus focusing your attention more narrowly. Equally, later in the race, when the going gets tough and it starts to hurt, possibly think of switching styles to take your mind away or to bring your mind back. In other words, yet again, use your head to help you and not hurt you. In later stages of the race, the temptation may be to look towards the end, but as previously mentioned, that may not necessarily help you deal with where you are and what needs to be done to make it through. So choose your attentional styles and choose images carefully and try to stay in the here and the now.